Yo, Brody, we gonna be reacting to the truth about Karrahbooo leaving Lil Yachty's Concrete Boys. Fuck. Let's get into this.
Alright guys, so recently Karrahbooo alluded to leaving the Concrete Boys, and even more recently it was confirmed that she no longer is a part of the group, and this immediately had this huge reaction from fans. So I'm gonna give you the full timeline of what happened, the responses, etc., and also explain this little conspiracy theory on whether or not this is fake for her album promo or whether it's real. Let's get it. Alright, so on July 29th of 2024, it was announced that Karrahbooo is seemingly no longer a part of Lil Yachty's Concrete Boys. If you don't know, Lil Yachty, I think like last year he started this new group called Concrete Boys, and it's his label. And before she left, it was Yachty, Draft Day, this guy named Camo, and DC Drill. And it was kind of like this collective he put together of just talented artists that he'd like to put on. And if you don't know, Karrahbooo was actually originally Yachty's assistant, but she saw him in the studio. She decided to try her hand at rapping, and she ended up stealing the show. And she's by far the most popular member of the group. So anyways, let's see what people's initial reactions to her. Literally the only one outside of Yachty that was interesting.
I was seeing a little bit about this Karrahbooo situation. I never really listened to the music. I haven't listened to Concrete Boys. Like, I'm really out the loop. And I ain't go in the Karrahbooo situation with Yachty, I seen it all over, but I've been trying to avoid it for this video. You feel me?
The only one outside of Yachty that was interested. She was the best of the group too. Good, she is ass. I know a rollout when I see one. And I'm gonna explain this whole like, yo, fake leaving situation later. Another person said, would make sense she was complaining about them not pushing her music out or something. So I believe a couple months ago, Karrahbooo tweeted about not having a proper team around her and just not having the proper push that other artists have and what she believed she deserved. And I guess it got patched up or something, but maybe those issues still remain, but I'll get into that later in the video. Anyways, another thing that's a little interesting is in her name for Instagram, it still says Concrete KB. However, she has unfollowed all the other members. On top of that, fans were also thinking that she got kicked out because she was seen reposting "Where's at Karrahbooo" on her Instagram story after she wasn't in attendance for a set for the Concrete Boys. And she didn't just repost one, she reposted multiple. But here's the thing, Where is Karrahbooo is reportedly the name of her next album. And by the way, since she's no longer touring with the Concrete Boys, she's reportedly going on tour with V's. And V's has also had other female rappers support him. He had an easy so anything. But another reaction towards this whole news was, yo, Yachty, how do you have two failed collectives? If you don't know, Yachty used to have a group called Sailing Team, or The Sailing Team, and he actually spent $1 million on trying to push them, and they just didn't have the work ethic, and it just failed. And since Karrahbooo was, you know, by far the most popular, I'm not gonna.
Nah, that's so lame. Like, if Yachty give you the chance, I'm telling you, I'll give you the rap. I'll even start right. I'll even give you lyrics. Give you a few of my lyrics. You know, let your shit be popping. And you don't got the worth ethic. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, make $1 million. He invested it into you. You gotta make it.
I say most talented, but most popular and just a fan favorite of this group, and what the majority of the headlines of this group were about were like, yo, 2 failed artist collectives under your belt? That's crazy. And yeah, if this is true, I'm not gonna say the Concrete Boys won't have any fans, but it's just like, I wouldn't really see, you know, casuals or just regular people checking out Concrete Boys as much. It's also ironic that the most popular member of the group, called Concrete Boys, was a woman. Was good, I'm like. Other people were also saying they were gonna replace her with Ian, which makes, they're not replacing her with Ian. But anyways, up until now, it was all speculation, right? Everyone was like, yo, is she leaving? Is this not? Is this promo? This is like a weird stunt if it is promo, I'm not gonna lie. A little smart, but it's a little weird. Anyways, Lil Yachty took to Instagram Live, clear up there. All right, so let's see what he had to say.
I don't want to say this. I'm gonna say this shit one time, right? We have split ways with Karrah as far as this concrete shit. I don't have nothing. I have nothing to say, nothing bad to say, nothing negative to say about Karrah. I wish her the best in her career.
Yeah.
That's that. You know? Yeah. That's pretty much it. I don't have anything really bad to say. or anything good to say. We just split, you know? And I wish the best for Kara in her career.
Alright, so at first he did this little like knocking wood thing. Alright, bro. And it's like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna say this. Let's just say we've split ways. Said that in the beginning. Then he was like, but I wish the best. And then he kind of like pondered and was like, how am I gonna say this? And he kept going, but that's really all it boiled down to. She was like, she's no longer part of Concrete Boys. She's no longer affiliated with me. I wish her the best. Okay, that's it. I also want you to, I want to give you a little context behind this Instagram live. He said a couple more controversial things. For example, he said that New York wasn't doing much in fashion. That caused the whole thing. And ASAP Nas was like, hey, how dare you say that? And like, all right. So this wasn't just to address the whole Karrahbooo situation, even though that was something people wanted to hear from. And at this point, everyone is saying, yo, clearly promo for her next album, Where's Karrahbooo? Also, she was reposting all the people on her Instagram story asking, where is she at? Yachty's concert. Okay, so here's the thing that makes me agree that this is promo, and I'm not gonna lie, if I didn't know her next album was called Where's Karrahbooo, or Where's at Karrahbooo, I would have no idea about any of this either. So number one, if someone is leaving your label and you decided to, you know, split ways with them, you don't want to give them more attention, right? You know, you wouldn't want to, you wouldn't go on an Instagram live and be like, yeah, we split for the most part. The other thing too is she was signed to Quality Control under Yachty, under like this Concrete Boys collective. So for them, you know, labels don't just let you go like that. You know what I mean? Maybe Yachty is a super nice guy and he was his assistant and he did put her on, and we'll get into that later in the video, but it's very uncommon for someone, because think about it, for her to just leave, that would be pretty ungrateful, right? Like, he did make her career, right? So for her to be that nice and extend this olive branch, it's a little like, I kind of agree with these people. It's
Facts, it is a little weird situation. Like, if he wanted to dead her, could have been on some, I mean, it would have been crazy. She is the top one, but I don't know.
a little fishy, I'm not gonna lie. And they're saying no one is falling for this. I speak for everyone when I say nobody cares. Calling it now, this is promo for her solo album. Someone else said it's part of her Where's Karrahbooo album rollout. She's an industry plant. Another person
Nah, if it wasn't called that, nobody would think that.
said don't fall for it. She just did a Lyrical Lemonade interview doing heavy promo for her album and has boosted internet engagement for Where's Karrahbooo, her first studio album. Great marketing though, Bo. And yeah, I'm actually not buying it either. It does seem kind of, it is pretty slick, I'm not gonna lie. It just doesn't make any sense, because like, okay, she was complaining earlier that, yo, I didn't, or that she wasn't pleased with the whole situation of how her was being handled and how she was being pushed and marketed. But let's say she did leave, right? Because think about it. And I'm not even gonna go into the implications of her being an independent artist, because there's just no way, and I'm gonna explain why, right? Even if she was super unhappy with the situation and how her career was being handled, it still doesn't really make sense for her to leave. Because one thing about Lil Yachty is he's extremely well connected, all right? He's like really good with friends with Drake. He has the most Lyrical Lemonade videos at this point, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if that's just a random lie. She's also like the most popular one in Concrete Boys, which must give her some sort of an ego boost. And after this Concrete Boys tape just like released, she has quite a bit of singles released on Spotify, so she's not doing horrible. They were also doing promo for her this whole time, so who just leaves in the middle of a promo run? Like, let's be serious. Nobody would ever do that. That makes no sense. What? Just the whole thing just seems way too fishy. I think the mistake they made here with the whole marketing was the Where's Karrahbooo. They shouldn't have made her album Where's Karrahbooo. They shouldn't have announced that her next album was Where's Karrahbooo. Or maybe they did it and then they thought of this as like a marketing gimmick and they're like, oh, what if we did this? And it was like, Where's Karrahbooo? And it was like, oh. And then she's back with the Concrete Boys and there's the Yachty features, and you know, be like, oh, that'd be so cool. But I feel like they kind of spoiled it by, you know, revealing to fans that her next album was going to be Where's Karrahbooo. You know what I mean? So yeah, that sucks. The other thing you gotta understand is this is why this is also why people hate industry plants, or I'm not gonna say hate, just heavily dislike. Yeah, they hate them, but I was trying to be nice. But fans hate being tricked. The number one thing, they hate being tricked. That's why they don't like industry. Like, oh, you know what? I was manipulated into putting this person in my playlist. I don't care if the music sounds good. Like, fuck, you know what I mean? So they don't really like being played with. And I think that this kind of, I don't know, it's like manufactured engagement when in reality she didn't really need it. I feel like if anything, this shows that people were interested in her in the first place. You know, she could have just announced that she was dropping an album, had Yachty help promote it for it to help do well. I don't think that this is gonna boost album sales anyways, because like think about it, awareness does not mean people are gonna actually tap in. Like, you know, I'll give you an example. Rich Amiri has one call, it has like 100 million streams on Spotify, right? In terms of awareness, he's bigger than most of these underground artists. But when he's dropping a single, no one is going to check that out. No one cares. Whereas Netspend, everyone's like, oh my god, you know, just sorry, I know it's kind of like a meme, Netspend or whatever, but or Osama Stun or any one of these more organic artists. And that's the same thing with this like marketing gimmick. Okay, sure, now a lot of people like are thinking about her a bit, but is it really gonna have an impact on her numbers? I don't think so. So anyways, it seems like this whole thing is a failed marketing stunt, and I am a bit iffy. And if she actually did leave, I'm just gonna say it's the dumbest move ever. Like, why would you do that unless she's signed to like
Facts. I wouldn't leave no fucking Yachty, son. I ain't gonna lie. I'm pushing that music. Fuck is you talking? Yachty giving me shit. What you told me to say? Oh yeah, hold on. I'm about to slap that shit right here. Bar for bar, just like she did, yeah.
like really good management, she got a really good deal, and they're really gonna push her. But even then, you know, maybe like it doesn't make sense for them to be like mad at her, them to have this rift, or and it's like, oh yo, Yachty wishes her the best, then why did they unfollow each other? You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense. I don't know. Maybe he was just addressing it when Drake and Kendrick had their beef. Yachty didn't really shy away from talking about the whole situation. Actually got him a lot of heat, and he took on the podcast, and recently he talked about it too. So maybe there is a chance this is all real. I doubt it though. Seems very manufactured. But anyways, take care guys. Have a nice day. Bye.
Damn, son. So do y'all think the situation with Karrahbooo is really a marketing stunt? Shit really capped. They not really on none of that. This is all fake. Where's Karrahbooo? We'll see you in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I'll see you on the next video. Safety. General number 1.
SR.
Yo! You don't hear it? No,
General,
I don't leave your head when I say
General number 1 reporting for duty.